What could be more quintessentially Bath, more Georgian, than Lansdown Crescent perched on a hillside with views across the city? Its gentle curve of pale stone townhouses oozes comfort, tranquility and a sense of satisfaction. A group of walkers stops to survey the looming structures. "We're just wondering," says one, "if any of these houses are still single occupancy." A glance along the terrace confirms most of them have several buzzers and names alongside their front doors. But not number 16. Shutters firmly closed against the impending storm. This is the house occupied by Dame Glynis Breakwell, Vice-Chancellor of Bath University for the last 16 years, a multi-million-pound property she is obliged to live in as a condition of her employment. "So this is where she lives?" asks one of the group. "The removals lorries aren't here yet then. Won't be long." With a chuckle they head off in the sunshine to look at more slabs of stone. The house on Lansdown Crescent is a fitting symbol of the bizarre couple of weeks that have seen perceptions of Bath shift from a fashionable tourist destination with a top-ranking university to a hotbed of radicalism, the fulcrum in the fight against executive pay, and the place where the latest bit of the fight back is kicking off. Even the tourists thronging Millsom Street seem energized. "It's insane," says Joe Raymond, a local Labour councillor who has been heavily involved in the protests against the Vice-Chancellor. "This has been bubbling under the surface with a few of us being noisy and poking our head above the parapet. Now there are hundreds of heads above the parapet. Things really started to change last year with the house." What happened with the house on Lansdown Crescent was that the Bath Chronicle got the revelation that Breakwell had a Gratian favour house as part of her employment package. In a city with a housing shortage, this did not go down well. In a university where student rents were being increased, while the university made a healthy surplus from its housing operation, it went down extremely badly. Glynis Breakwell with Prince Edward. Photograph Max Mumby Indigo Getty Images. Further revelations followed. Raymond, who worked in the university's admissions department for 3 years until 2016, got wind of an entry for a cleaner for 16 Lansdown Crescent on the university books. A Freedom of Information request confirmed £20,016 was allocated for the housekeeper, whose responsibilities included washing and ironing of all bedding and towels, as well as £2 for biscuits. Along with the biscuits came the interest-free car loan of £31,489 and the £45,000 pay rise for £201,516, taking Breakwell's annual salary to £451,000, followed by a £17,589 pay rise for the following year, in the process making her the highest-paid university vice-chancellor in the country. In a university that has become a market leader in zero-hours contacts and low pay for junior staff, this too did not go down well. More sensitive souls might have blanched, but Breakwell has stuck it out, even voting against an attempt to open up the proceedings of the Remuneration Committee that had awarded her the pay rises, a committee on which she also sits. An inquiry by the Higher Education Funding Council for England (HEFCE) produced a damning report into senior pay and governance this month, triggering staff meetings, managing council meetings, a vote of no confidence narrowly survived by Breakwell and, most unexpectedly, a grudging admission of error. She's been vice-chancellor for more than a third of the life of the university. "There's a sense that this can't continue. Bath is the apex of a broken system of higher education," says Raymond. There were 350 staff at the meeting on Wednesday and it was only announced on Monday evening. By any university standards, that's mad. By the standards of Bath, that's unprecedented. This is massive. The students are organizing a demo. This is a broad campaign. It's not something that just appeals to Marxist revolutionaries. There's real potential for this to be the situation that sparks a reform of higher education governance. He pauses to gather his thoughts. "I never thought higher education governance would be so interesting." The student demo is planned for Thursday, to coincide with the next critical date in the saga, the University Council's scheduled meeting to consider the HEFCE report. At the last count, the call for the demo, organized by Bath students against fees and cuts, had attracted 1,500 responses. This is a watershed moment. Student demos, it appears, had been considered a thing of the past. "This is the first student demo here since the 1980s, says Clementine Boucher, one of the organizers. 3 years ago, when I came to university here, it would have been absolutely unthinkable for this to happen. A demo, talk of a rent strike in January." Sitting in the university's 4 West Cafe during a busy lunchtime, Boucher thinks her fellow students have been radicalized by the convergence of many factors, not just executive pay. The total injustice that Breakwell represents has meant students have rallied around, she says. There are issues around space and overcrowding, rent, fees as well as pay, so there's been a crystallization of student anger. The HEFCE report meant that students felt their voices were being heard. For Michael Carley, a senior lecturer at the university and president of the Bath branch of the University and College Union, the report highlights the fault line running through Breakwell's tenure as vice-chancellor. The position of vice-chancellor used to be someone who essentially thought of themselves as an academic. They would take on the vice-chancellorship for a short time and then go back to academia. What the pay gap between executives and staff has done is completely detach the vice-chancellor from the rest of us. Now you have vice-chancellors who think of themselves as CEOs. There is no defense of academic values or what it is to be a community of learning. He was surprised at the trenchant tone of the HEFCE report and hopes it represents a turning point. It's devastating. Every paragraph is unbelievable, he says. People talk about a culture of fear, but as soon as you talk about it, it disappears. Last year was the university's 50th anniversary. She's been vice-chancellor for more than a third of the life of the university. There is now a sense that this can't continue, with rumors of further revelations to come surrounding a management culture that provoked feelings of fear and powerlessness. Carley doubts Breakwell will be able to hang on to her position, her house, her car loan, housekeeper or biscuits. I think the revelations to come will make her position more untenable. That should finish her, he says.